Hiya. When you start getting more intentional about your business, whether that's ramping up social media or, revamping your website, whatever it is, you will find you will start to get one of these, which is a very long to-do list. I'm not talking about the little jobs that you might do, that you might put on like a calendar. But you have a long list of things on your desk that you are nagging at you because you know you need to do them, you want to do them. It's going to move your whole business forwards. But it can feel really overwhelming and you don't know which steps to take next. And when you do sit down to tackle a list like this, it doesn't really feel like you've made a dent in it because it's so big. And it would include things like launch website, do social media, email a potential lead, learn from the course I bought and still haven't managed to watch, networking, creating a PDF so I can make my lead magnet, build an email list. These big tasks which make us feel more overwhelmed when we start kicking up a gear in our business. So, I will always say this, simplicity will always win. There's less to break. So having a list like this can sometimes work. It's simple and you can just tick it off as you go. But I do want to show you how you can break your list down into separate sections so that you get a little bit more traction in your business and you feel a little bit less overwhelmed, but it is still a simple system. It doesn't matter whether you use your list in Notion, in Asana, in Trello, in ClickUp, in a notebook, in a bullet journal, in an Excel spreadsheet. Doesn't matter. This system will work wherever you do your lists. So what you need to do is separate into 3 columns. Things you need that are immediate, things you need now, usually things that have to be done today, maybe as far as this week, but immediately must get this stuff done. You're going to have another column for things that can wait. These are things that you can say, I could get to it next week. As long as I get it done sometime this month, it's probably okay. Those are the jobs that can go in here. And your last one is things you've got time for. Things that don't have that immediacy. They're still going to build your business. They're still going to push you forwards, but you don't have to do them right away. And we are going to break down our list of giant jobs and put them into these columns. If you have smaller jobs in your to-do list, you can still put them in here. So how do we work out which ones to put where? You need to prioritise them, and what you're going to prioritise are 2 things. The first things you're going to prioritise are client-facing things where you already have a client. So if you already have someone you are working for, you already have a client, those things are normally going to come in the first 2 columns. They have to get done. So those are the kind of things you are going to prioritise. And also things that generate you income. Because the quicker you can get that income in, the quicker you can outsource to bring on help for the bigger jobs. For example, if you have on your big list of jobs, I want a podcast, I want to launch a podcast. Yes, that could generate income, but not immediately. Whereas networking and finding potential leads, you might think that will actually get more leads in quicker and therefore more clients in quicker. And if that's the case, maybe you prioritise the networking and you leave the podcast, and then when you generate the income from your first few clients, you might outsource some help with the podcasting to launch that as well. Whereas if you do it the other way around and you ignore the networking, you ignore finding the leads and going for jobs and going for clients, but you push forward with your podcast, you might find that actually it takes a good year, 18 months to bed that podcast in, get the downloads you need, get enough people talking about it for you to actually then generate income from it. So you will actually get the podcast launched sooner by not working on it. Not necessarily launch, because obviously you can launch it yourself, but what I mean is the benefits of having that podcast will come sooner if you maybe don't prioritise it over the thing that gets you the money first. So those are the 2 kind of key places where you're going to think, I need to prioritise income and things that I've already committed to. So let's use some of my examples to break down how it goes into the system. Right. Let's start with learning from courses you bought, because this is a big one. I am all for continued learning. I try and read every week. I listen to podcasts on my walk if I get to go out for a walk on my own, which is a little bit harder because we're in the middle of the pandemic at the moment. Just an aside, that's how I know this system works, because I've had to switch to homeschooling, which means I've had to outsource a little bit more, which means I've had to rearrange all my priorities because my hours have changed. So I know this system works. But yes, learning is important. And I'm not saying put all your learning into the I've got time some later point, because we all know that we feel more fulfilled in our businesses when we know we're making progress as a CEO, not just, you know, the nuts and bolts of the business of what we do and provide for others. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't separate your learning out. For example, we on our list have got build email list in my example. So let's say learning from the courses I've bought, maybe one of the courses I've bought has got a chapter on emails. I'm going to put it in here as, let's just say it's called chapter 4 email learning. I don't have to do that today, but it would be good to get it done in the next few weeks so that I can actually unlock building my email list. And the rest of that course I've bought, which doesn't cover that, I'm going to put in here, because I would like to finish it. There's loads of other good stuff in it, but I do not need to finish it right away. So that's how we're splitting that one out. And I will tell you, we'll do these two next so you can kind of see how that ties in together. So create PDF lead magnet and build an email list. Okay, well, can I build an email list without a lead magnet? Yes, I can. It's just harder to get people on it. Can I create a PDF lead magnet without an email list? Yes, but I've got nowhere to send it, other than perhaps posting on social media and then emailing it out to them directly, which is inefficient. We know that it's going to do better if we can build an email list. So maybe out of these two, our actual priority that we can do right now today is choose an email provider. So let's add choose email provider, because that is something we need to know. We cannot launch our PDF lead magnet and we can't send out emails till we've at least decided what platform we're going to host our emails on. So we're going to put this in here. And maybe I don't know about writing a sequence or anything. I would like to get in the habit of writing the emails. Maybe I can commit to writing them once every 3 weeks. I'm going to send an email out. So I might decide to say, well, I don't need to do that today. I can commit to it, but I can't actually write it today. So let's put that in the middle. So 1 mail every 3 weeks. If you do something like this, add a date, because let's say you want to send it out on this date, because at some point you're going to have to rearrange this, and some of your can waits are going to end up going into this list. So add your date. So I've chosen my provider today. I don't have to write my actual email yet. Create PDF magnet. Well, do I actually know what my PDFs are going to be? What's my lead magnet going to be? So choose lead magnet. That's got to be done before I can do anything else. Choose lead magnet. Okay, so I know I've got to choose the platform, choose the lead magnet. Okay, I don't have to design it today. That could be done in the next few weeks. So create lead magnet goes in there. I do know I'm going to need a welcome sequence, because if I send out my PDF, I need a welcome sequence. But could that wait? Well, technically, yes, it could. I could send out my PDF when someone signs up with one email saying, thank you for signing up. I'm going to try and write to you every month with hints and tips. Even if you don't have a welcome sequence, that would work. That would do for now. It moves your business forward. It gets your lead magnet out there. It gets your email list growing. It doesn't overwhelm you. You don't need the sequence yet. So let's say you can wait on the sequence because you know that's probably going to be 6 mails. That's not something you need to do straight away, but you do think you need to prioritise these things. So creating the lead magnet, is that got to be something that's done today? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe we put it here, so we don't need to put it in this column. What other jobs do we need to do with our email list? We probably could just write one email. We could do that. That's something we could do. So we're going to write the thank you mail and the call to action mail. So in this email, we're just going to say, thanks for joining my list. Really excited to have you here. Come back every few weeks because I'm going to pop into your inbox and share my hints and tips with you. That is something that perhaps we need to do sooner than everything else. So we've done those. So we've done that, we've done that, and we've done that. Now up here, we've got email potential lead. That's immediate, that's income generating, that's a touch point with the client that needs to be done. So, and that's got to be done today. Email potential lead. This task takes a little bit of time, but it's not difficult. It is just a case of working out what steps can you do in which order, what needs to come first. So networking, we know that that can generate money. We would then do the same. What bit of networking can wait here? Well, maybe something we could do today is just decide where we're going to network. So let's say, choose 3 groups. Let's say our approach is going to be Facebook groups and maybe look at a LinkedIn group. Well, we can choose those today. Over here, in the next few weeks, we need to commit the time in diary. Because if we don't actually start with that, it's not going to bring us those connections. We're not going to start building those relationships, which means we won't start building those leads. So we're going to chuck those in the middle because that needs doing. But what of the networking could be left to here? I've got time. Well, maybe it's getting rid of and leaving all of the Facebook groups you don't want to be in anymore. So we're going to put that here. Leave Facebook groups. Now, you could do that today. What that would do, for example, is it's going to show the algorithm which groups you actually want to be involved in. It's going to show you a better feed. It's going to pop up things in your feed which are more appropriate to you. Yes. But you can control that a little bit by choosing your 3 groups you want to go to. And in the next few weeks, you're going to put time in your diary and just visit those 3. That will also tell the algorithm that those 3 groups are important to you, which negates having to leave all the others straight away. This is a job that's worth doing. Doesn't have to be done as immediately as choosing the groups or putting time in the diary to actually do that task. So we've done networking. And then there's jobs like do social media, launch your website. So if you're launching a website, there are 2 ways you can do it. You can either work on the whole thing and launch it shiny and new, all done, or you can just start working on it behind the scenes and then just launch a landing page. So you do your home page. It has to have a step for your audience. So it's going to have to say what they do next. That could be, contact me here for more information, let's have a chat. You could ask them to come back and check later. But how many times have you done that? When you've seen someone else's website say, come back, how many times have you? The truth is, if someone's looking for your services now, if your website's not done, they're not going to come back for your service. They are going to find someone else who's already up and running. The call to action has to be, in case the website's not done, but the business is running, you can chat to me here. It could be a simple 5-minute video of you, even 2 minutes, just saying, welcome to the website. The prices and everything's not here. I'd love to chat with you though, so we can get things moving. Here's a link below to book into my calendar. Let's have a chat. It gives them a call to action. It sends them where you need to, and lets them know that your business is running. So how would you then put this into your structure? Well, you might say, I need to do the video. That's primary because I need to do it. I want that done today. So you're going to film your video. And then maybe something that can wait, that's going to happen in the next week, 2 weeks, is that you're going to actually build out that page. All you need is the home page. Build the home page, which is just going to have, you know, the links to the video hosted and the little bit of information. So I've got time is going to be all your other website pages that you can work alongside as that's up and running. That might be, you know, your package pages. Yeah, that might be your packages, your about you, a link to a page which has all your testimonials on. It might be project examples, your portfolio, that might all be on there. You can get your website working for you without having all of that in place, so that can go this side. I won't write it down, but again, with social media, what can you do? What do you have to do today? What could wait for the next few weeks? And what could be here? And it might be that today you decide on your strategy, which platforms are you working on, and how many posts are you going to commit to. That might be all you need to do today. In the next few weeks, it might be just getting into the habit of writing 1 post a week. Don't forget, you're already committed to writing 1 email every 3 weeks. You're already committed to learning, going through your learning and having your chapter 4 for your email learning that you wanted to do. But you know now which column it's in, and you can see the level of work that's in each one. And then what can wait? Well, actually posting 3 times can wait. I've got too much other stuff to do. Fine. It just breaks everything down into a timeline. You've just created a timeline for your work. You can ignore this and this. This is now your list. So instead of it being launch website, do my social media, learn about email marketing, create my lead magnet, instead of that very big list, now all you've got is choose my email provider, choose what lead magnet I'm going to do, write 1 email ready for my email sequence when I get that set up. I'm going to just email my potential lead because that's an ongoing thing, and if I can book that client, you know, that gets that moving. Going to choose 3 groups I'm going to network in, and then I'm going to film a video. And when you look at your list like that, you might find that actually you could get through that in 2 days, and it's done. That portion of the list is done in 2 days, and you've made waves in your business. You've got some traction, you've got some projects moving, and they're all the things which are going to help make you money quicker. When you've done that, you then need to look at your can wait list, and there's going to be things from here that you're going to move over, and there's going to be things you've done in this list which actually you realise you've missed a step out somewhere. So for example, we might have chosen our lead magnet and written our email and chosen who we're going to have as our email provider, but we actually didn't write down open the email account, like the platform. So after we've ticked all of this off and we've rubbed all of this out, so we've got rid of all this, let's say we've done all of these little jobs. Excuse me. So we've done all those jobs, they're ticked off. We now know we need to actually set up your provider. So that's the next job that goes in that list. And then you're going to work your way through your can wait list and see what needs to be moved over. And obviously there's going to be things coming into your immediate that have come in from a client. Maybe they've asked for an edit on a piece of content. So you're going to deal with your client stuff if you have clients already, because there's going to be immediate jobs from them. And keeping clients happy is so important, more important than doing something like finishing your website for new clients, because clients are the gateway to more clients. they improve how you work with clients, they hone your own skills for working with people and the systems you have in place, and they're a great place for referrals if you do a really good job. They also help you learn which clients you don't want as well, because it's all in all, you need to prioritise here. So we've put those in the list. So we'd already chosen, so maybe we might move over creating the lead magnet. We might just move over the whole thing because we know that in 3 hours, 4 hours with a template, we can get that done and that'll be, finished. On the other hand, you might say, I need to do some research for it. I'm going to put that in the research in here and leave it in this list. And then you just go through it and you work out what from your can wait list moves over and what new stuff has come into your immediate list. And then you repeat the process. And eventually these will start disappearing, which means you can start some of the things which you've got time for might start bleeding over and things just start moving this way over and over and over until you're getting through your jobs. Now, it is no different than breaking all of these down into little mini jobs on different cards in Trello, for example, and tackling them that way. However, what this system does is it brings to focus which ones are the immediate ones and you ignore everything else because you've got time for everything else. There's no pressure for any of these. You've got a few weeks, three weeks to get these bits done, and you'll get to these when you can get to them. They're not important, they don't have dates on. All you've got to worry about is this. And the temptation is when you break down all of these in different places, just listing out all the jobs, because you don't have any element of priority in them, it's just a wall of stuff to do. That's really not helpful. So nothing on here is new. Nothing is, all of these things you would do when you tackled these goals and these tasks, but because you found a way to systematize them and prioritize them, it makes the overwhelm so much less because you've just got one column, which is I need to do it today and tomorrow. That's it. I don't need to look any further. Everything's in there. And that is a really good system that you can use to tackle your to-do list. And to some extent, you could use it with client work. If you have somebody working for you, you're outsourcing client work, for example, you may show them this system so that you can put in here things they need to do for your client with like medium dates on, the long-term dates of things they need to tackle but there's no date on them, and then you might have the things that prioritize. They need to deliver this in the next couple of days, and that can also be helpful too. It just depends on who you're working with and what they need in terms of how much information they need. Some people like to have a framework. They like to have an overview of where things are going. But I think it's helpful for all of us to just have that one immediate list of things we've got to do. So if you are struggling with a lot to do and not knowing how to do it, or you feel like you're tackling your to-do list but never really getting anywhere, I would suggest using this system and seeing how you go.